Okay, it should be normal now. It should be normal.
Oh, now it looks good.
You got it up
Okay.
now?
Now
Yeah,
it's
that'll be it, maybe.
Is that, are we back?
Need to go back to,
Uh,
yeah, try that one.
Try this one. Hey!
That's better.
That's better.
Yep. And now I have you all on a screen by yourself too. So
Right, so we
I hope everyone joins in now.
yeah, much better.
Yes. Okay, so we have people coming on now. Okay, it's much better now.
That's better.
Yes.
Good.
Okay, so we thought
Thanks.
April Fool's jokes were still on, but it's not. So thank God.
Yeah.
We thought YouTube was playing an April Fool's joke on us.
Bill's joke on us. Yeah. we
Yeah.
thought so.
Okay, so now that we have Emma and so third time's the charm. Now that we have Emma on, we have Lance here as well, her husband.
Yep.
And they are from Nova Scotia, Canada, and they live a very self-reliant and a frugal lifestyle. And they're here to tell us about their life and give us a little insight into what it's like and give us some tips on how to be, to live more frugal and to live more sustainably. So do you want to start all over? Do you want to say...
So
Okay.
what it's like? It's hard. Yeah, I mean, starting over with the channel again, it's just really to help people who wants to move into being more self-reliant or self-sustainable or whatever you want to call it. And like we said earlier, there's a lot more call for that now with what's going on in the world. People are going to start thinking about how they can provide more for themselves or their families. And so really that's what the channel is about, to try and introduce people to that. And it can be done on different levels. So you don't need to have a huge garden. You don't need to have a huge acreage. You can start small and work your way up.
So from what you've seen, like from my videos with Trinidad and Tobago, what do you think people can do there? How can they start living a life like you?
I think one of the biggest things that people, the first thing that people need to do is really look at where they want to go, and look at what they have around them. So, sit down and decide, well, I want to, say, in 3 months' time, be able to provide this, and this. Because we all have to start somewhere. So if we start with the smaller things, for example, if you want to grow something in a container. There's a real lag on it as well.
Yes.
Grow something in a container, or if you have access to, say, a small area where you can put a garden in. For example, the first garden that we had here, you wouldn't think when you look now, but was 4 foot by 6.
Wow.
So that was small.
Yeah.
No, it's quite a lot bigger,
and now
isn't it?
it's a lot bigger. So start small. But
Yeah. 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 So, another thing I wanted to ask you is, about how do you store the produce from your garden and your herbs? How do you store those things for months at a time? Because I know you during the winter you're stocked up on everything.
Yeah, we do. One of the biggest things, and I mentioned earlier about having to sometimes spend to gain. And one of the biggest things that we have purchased is a dehydrator. So I've got a few things here actually that I brought out of my pantry.
Oh, okay.
So for example, I have some cabbage here.
Oh, wow, nice.
It's a little laggy, so but there you go. You can see it
fine.
Now. So it's hard to. Anyway, you can get the drift. There's a big.
I have a picture actually. I have a picture here that I can show on the screen. Yeah. Yeah, you won't see it in real time on that end, but just keep talking. Because, yeah, you should see it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Pressure cookers are great. Yeah.
What's in the jar? So I have, from left to right, I have some alder cat.
Okay, yeah, I just did. Okay. Yeah, you're back up now.
So yeah, we had some sorrel in the jar there. We had some sorrel seeds, which was the furthest
What do
one
you
to
use the sorrel seeds for?
They go in muffins and cakes and cookies. What do you use the sorrel seeds for? They go in muffins. So, you know, it's a shame really I can't show you what I have in front. Going back to dehydrating, it's just a really good way of reducing a large quantity of food into a small area.
Yeah.
So, you know, if people, when they do go shopping, if they see something on a good deal, for example, I don't know, carrots or something, then they can bring it home and dehydrate.
Nice. So what I don't think we talked fully about the dehydrating because I wanted to get you on here and I wanted to do something West Indian. So I wanted to do like a dehydrated green seasoning because I've been I got this powder from Trinidad when I went back. Tony's Scotch bonnet powder. You've seen me using it a few times. Yeah. And I was thinking, because of the times we're in, I wanted to do a green seasoning one so that all my seasonings, I could just have it in one powder and I don't need to to worry about going out to get fresh one.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
So do you dehydrate your herbs from the garden?
We do. I
Okay.
dehydrate them or I'll dry them. I actually dehydrated most of the herbs from the garden last year. I just find it preserves them better. You can dry them by hanging them up,
Okay.
By string. But I find sometimes you still have a moisture content in there,
Okay.
and they go moldy.
Oh, okay.
But
So
if
you think dehydrating is better?
dehydrating them is the way to go, because you're removing all of the moisture completely out of them, so there's nothing there. Yeah.
Okay.
But the dehydrator, I mean, that was a really good investment for us. It really was, and so is the pressure cooker.
So what about if someone doesn't have a dehydrator and they want to do it? Can they do it in the oven?
You can do it in the oven on your lowest setting. So, put your oven on the lowest setting, and it can take quite a while in your oven. I mean, in the dehydrator that we have, it can take between 8 and 10 hours for some items to dehydrate.
Okay.
So, in your oven, it can take 24 hours or more. But, it is you can do it, you can do it in the oven.
Okay.
But if you're going to dehydrate on a regular basis, I would recommend that you buy a dehydrator.
Okay. Uncle Gary asked if your dehydrator is a professional grade one.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, Gary is a professional grade one, because we do so much. We wanted to make sure that it was going to be up to what we wanted it to do, so we did get a really good one for that.
Okay. A few weeks ago, I actually got an air fryer, and it has a dehydrator setting in it. And so that's why I wanted to do the green seasoning, because it happened to come in an opportune time. Because I had issues with keeping the herbs fresh, and then usually I have to keep going out to buy, and I just want to have it dry so I can use it as a powder or something, or flakes.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. And then you've got it. If you want to be buying something in bulk, or something comes on special, then you can do that.
Okay. So you would suggest investing in a good heavy duty dehydrator?
If you're going to dehydrate on a regular basis, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't think I'm at that stage right now, but yeah.
At the point that we're at, we wanted, because at the end of the day, it's our food. So if it doesn't work, or it doesn't do what we want it to do, then that's going to be our loss of our food. So you have to make sure you have the right tool for the job, so to speak.
Yeah. Oh, someone said they couldn't hear Emma. Oh, but you could hear yourself on your end. Maybe that was earlier, right?
Yeah. Everybody hear us okay, because we seem to be hearing. There's just a little bit of
lag. I think maybe you should turn it. I think you should probably. Oh, you can't hear me if you turn that down. The stream.
I'm gonna turn our thing down a little bit. See if that.
Yeah, just
helps.
listen to me from the Skype, because I think you're waiting for the stream.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see if that's better. Yeah, all okays now. Thanks, Gary. So does anybody have any questions that they'd like to ask? And then we'll maybe go into talking about being frugal.
Oh, you know what? Maybe you should explain what a homestead is. And you could also explain what being sustainable is and what being frugal is.
So
what it entails.
A homestead, again, is dependent on which level you want to be at. So for our homestead, we raise rabbits, chickens, turkeys, and we have the sheep. and obviously we hunt and we forage for a lot of our food. And basically the idea is of a homestead is that you can provide a certain amount of food yourself. So obviously we can't provide everything, which we would really like to be able to. We just don't have the climate, and nobody really has the climate to be able to provide absolutely everything they need.
Exactly.
It's a possibility. So you do it within the means that you have, around you. So, here we have the bees, like I say, and the sheep and the chickens and the turkeys.
Let me
and we
show them.
hunt.
Let me show them these sheep right now. Hold on.
Okay.
They're so cute, by the way.
So yeah, the sheep picture will come up.
Yeah.
And when the story behind the sheep is there they are.
They should be able to hear.
Yeah. So the sheep we got last year, and the idea was that we were going to put them in the freezer in the fall. And sometimes on a homestead things become very friendly, and one of the sheep did do just that, and she became really, really friendly with us. And there was just no way that she was going to end up going in the freezer. And then we had the problem, well, if we keep her, she's going to be lonely. So we then decided that we would keep both the sheep and we would get in a ram. And obviously, hopefully they're going to be in lamb. We expect lambs to be born in the next 4 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I have looked the ewes over, and I think both of them are in lamb, so we just need to cross fingers on that. I think that'll be really good if all that goes well.
So I expect to see some pictures. I love baby animals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully it'll be their first time mums. So
Okay.
Sometimes things can be a little bit difficult for them, but we'll see. And I love that picture. It's a really good picture.
Yeah.
I got that one off your Facebook.
Yeah. So going back to the homestead, it really is what you want to make of it, and to the level that you want to take it. So, if you have any small land, look, can you have any hens? I know there's a lot of bylaws in a lot of places that don't allow hens or roosters, or you can only have so many.
Yeah.
I know in the city of Halifax here, I think you can only have a couple of hens.
Okay.
Yeah, no roosters.
And no roosters. So, check your bylaws for where you live.
Yeah. I think in Trinidad, I think you could pretty much have a little farm once you have the
right.
space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think a lot of people will start rearing their own food back home also.
I think so, because food security right now is a really, really big issue.
Yeah.
And, if you're not able to keep animals or chickens, then, even if you can provide yourself, say, one meal every couple of days with some vegetables that you've grown, which brings me to the point of you don't need a huge garden. There's lots of options now of seeds that you can actually plant in pots.
Yeah.
And even with a small raised bed, the planters that you can put outside on your patio or your deck, if you live in an apartment, for example, there's lots of variety now that you can actually grow in the container. So you don't need a garden, really, in order to provide food.
So I'm trying to think of other questions. Anyone else has questions?
Now, going down onto the frugal.
Yes, talk about frugal.
Being frugal is it's a real lifestyle change. And one of the first things that I think people need to look at is they need to go in their kitchen, open their cupboards and their fridge and their freezer, and actually look at the food that they have in there.
Someone's asking, can you talk about canning?
Yes, Carver, I'll go on to canning just shortly there. if you open your cupboards, I will guarantee that more than 70% of the population have their cupboards bursting with food. And there's a mindset that we have to go shopping on a regular basis. And the question being, do we actually have to go shopping on a regular basis? Are we at the point where we have no food in our cupboards? It's, and it is true. You see people, they'll shop every day, or they'll go shopping every 2 days when they've got a whole range of food at home that is stuffed somewhere hidden out of the way.
Yeah.
And what we need to do is rotate that food and meal plan better, so that we're not having to go to the shops all the time.
Yeah.
Because there's no need to do that.
It's also pretty hard to do that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
this is why I wanted you on here, because I feel like you've been doing this so long now. You've been living this way for a long time, and I mean, you would be the perfect person to tell them, right? Tell them how to start, because you have all this knowledge and you have all this experience.
Yeah, and the other thing as well that I find is there's an awful lot of food waste, and I know Pete could probably talk about this a little bit too, because he learned a lot when he was here last September, and he changed the way he cooks and the way he lives, through just being more frugal with his food.
Okay.
And he cut his food bill right down.
Wow.
Because of learning that. And it is something that you need to learn. You can't just fall into it. You have to, look and see, be more creative in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Emmering, Pete, emmering. That's what we called it, emmering.
I need to do some emmering. My mom said she has to do some emmering also. My mom, she makes the turmeric shots, the immune booster shots. So when she strains out everything and that pulp remains, the turmeric, ginger, and a few other things, and then she said she's going to use that to make either bread or some muffins, or maybe even something like a sugar cake. Yes.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's really good. So you're using almost a byproduct of what you're cooking.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example. When I make tomato soup, I blend the soup up and then I pass it through a sieve. Now what's left is all the skin, all the seeds, all the little bits and bobs. And I actually blend that up and I use it as a pizza sauce.
Oh, nice.
So, nothing goes to waste. And this is the mindset people need to be in. They need to look at what they have. Do they really need to go out and buy any more? And what can they make with what they have?
Yeah.
Waste food, unless it's moldy or rotten, can actually create a meal. You just have to have that little bit of creativity and see what you can do with it.
Yes. So you'll be sharing all this on your channel, right? Now that you're more active on your channel.
Yeah, it's going to get more active on the channel from now on, really, because, we're coming into a busy period of time. From now until about October is really full on for us.
Okay.
And we'll try and put out as much as we can. I think it's important to say here, and I did touch on that last night, that feedback is really, really important.
Yeah.
Because there's such a lot to do with the homestead. And if we can have that feedback, it helps us better the channel and tailor the channel to what people want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And it's really, everyone helps each other, and that's how we can, progress and move on with what's happening right now.
Yeah, that's so true. And you've been living very much isolated, and you've been doing this social distancing for a long time and self-isolating. So this is not something new to you all.
No, it's not new to us, and that's really one reason why we kind of decided to leave the rat race,
Okay.
just because we wanted to be. I mean, we're not hermits in respect,
Yeah.
but we do like to be on our own. So with people at the moment, they're having to be, in quarantine or in lockdown situations. To us, that's actually the normal. That it's what we do anyway. The only difference is that we can't go to the grocery store, when we may need to. But other than that, we stay at home anyway, so it's really not much different for us. And that is the way we choose to live. It's just how we like to be.
I guess it isn't so much of a shock to our
it's
routine as some people.
Yeah.
As Lance said, it's not a shock to us. It's just carrying on what we do.
Yeah. I feel like as soon as this happened, I think I reached out to you to ask some tips and tell you, you've been doing it the right way. You already know how to survive doing this.
Yeah. Wendy, we will be doing a lot more preserving from the garden when we start getting some produce coming in. So we will for sure do some videos on that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Pete, you're right. Fridge challenge. Everybody should do a fridge challenge.
What's a fridge challenge?
It's what you go into your fridge and you see what you have in there and you make a meal.
Oh, okay.
With only what's in there.
With only what's in there.
Well, that's what I've been doing lately. That's what Kevin and I have been doing because, we're forced now to just stay home and make do with what you have, basically.
Sorry, Gary, I missed that comment earlier. The crop that we're most looking forward to this year. We look forward to a lot of crops. I think some of the wild produce really is what we look forward to. Last year we didn't have any or much of a fruit crop. Our apple trees were really poor. Our wild choke cherry trees were really poor. It was just a really odd year for a lot of wild fruit, which we really enjoy because I make lots of jams and jellies out of that. So I will be looking forward to, hopefully, cross fingers, a better crop of those. With regards to the garden, what do you look forward to most out of the garden? Potatoes.
Potatoes.
Ooh, I remember when you dehydrated potatoes. That was like 2 years ago, right?
It was about 2 years ago, yeah. And
sweet corn as well.
Sweet corn.
Oh, you dehydrated also?
We have not a great deal of luck growing sweet corn, to be honest. I think it's our soil, but we have made a little garden just below our barn. And they used to throw all of the cow manure out of the barn into that area. So we're hoping that'll be a little bit better for corn to grow.
Oh, yes. You should talk about how you use your the manure from your animals.
Yeah, so we obviously have the chickens, the poultry, and we have the meat rabbits and also the sheep. So we use all of their left, their droppings on the garden. Now, with chicken manure, you have to let that sit for before you can use it. They call it hot, which means that if you put it on your garden and then you plant something near it, it can actually make you sick.
Oh, okay.
But with rabbit manure and goat manure and sheep, you can actually apply it straight onto the garden, which is really good. So I planted my pea rows, and then I went straight into the rabbit house and I, scooped out the rabbit droppings and they just got through straight on top of where I planted the peas.
Okay. Wow.
And you can see the rabbit just coming up there. That's Mummy Rabbit.
Yeah.
And actually, Mummy Rabbit, Laura, our eldest daughter, she went for a walk about 2 years ago and she come back and she says there's a rabbit been dumped down the road. And she went back and she got the rabbit, and there she is now. We've had her 2 years and she's had quite a few litters for us. So
She's so cute.
Yeah, she's a good mum. She's I don't know why anybody dumped her. Did you want to come and say hello?
Come and say hi.
I'm just gonna.
You're going to go around us from the other side. With
Here
Sally.
is Maya. She wanted to come and say hello to all you
Hi,
guys.
Maya. Happy birthday.
And here is Aspen.
Hi, Aspen.
Say hello to.
So today is Maya's birthday. So happy 6th birthday to
Happy
Maya.
She was 6 today. So as you can see behind us, actually, there's 2 pictures up here that the girls did of their garden.
Oh, wow.
This top one is Maya's. And you might not be able to see Aspen.
And I have a lovely drawing from Maya and Aspen. They drew doubles for me.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes.
And Aspen put a big chili on the top
Yes,
of
she
it.
did. I still have it.
Do you remember that? Yes.
That was about 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was about 2 years ago too. What you doing for, girls? So yeah, we the girls have their own garden as well, and that is another
Yes.
thing I like to.
How you
always
involve your
encourage-
children in everything.
Yeah, involve your children with everything that you do, because school is very important, but there's not enough home skills being taught in the schools. And in a situation where we're in right now, home skills are vitally important to us, really surviving, I suppose. So we teach them everything. They're involved in every part of what we do.
And I see in
growing
this shot
garden.
you're teaching them how to clean fish.
Yes, that was the Gaspereau. That was a new find for us last year, the Gaspereau run. They're called river herrings. And that was a really good find for us last year. And as you can see, we were all involved in cleaning them up.
That's so good. So they're learning all these skills.
They're involved in, when we have to, put the animals in the freezer. They're involved in the whole of the process, which is really important.
So when you hunt, do they see that process also when you bring the animals home?
They absolutely do. When Moms harvested the deer last year, they were really excited, both of them. They got dressed because it was very early in the morning. They both got dressed. They got your wellies on, and we all went down there to see the deer, and we processed it. So they don't get left out. They see it from the beginning to the end.
That's great.
Don't know. We have to find them.
And that's really important. And it's the way of life. Food doesn't come wrapped up in plastic wrapper. There is a process to get your food. Girls.
She's excited.
Oh, there's a nice one. Say thank you.
That's lovely. Thank you. We do, Gary. We do create our own compost. Nothing goes to waste. So in our kitchen we have 2 big yogurt containers, and one of them for house, the kitchen scraps, and all of that goes to the poultry and the chickens. Carrots, peelings, parsnip peelings go to the sheep and the rabbits. And the other container is for the compost, so nothing gets wasted there. And we also in the fall start to make compost trenches, where we dig a big trench in the garden and we fill it with a layer of compost, kitchen scraps, a layer of soil, so we built it up. Thank you so much, everybody, for the birthday wishes for Maya. It's really, really appreciated.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So this shot of the berries, this is from your trees also, right? Wild berries?
Yes.
Yes, they are. Yeah. So we have blueberries there. There are wild blueberries. We have quite a few blueberry bushes around the property. And it looks like the second ones are partridge.
Partridge berries.
I think they're partridge berries, which also grow wild here. So we do an awful lot of foraging for wild berries, and one of the biggest finds that we had last year was acorns.
Right. I remember you cracking the acorns open. And,
Yeah, with the stone.
Yeah. You had something like a sill and lure, huh?
We did, yeah, we did. And it worked really well, actually. It's a long process. But we ended up, I think, with like 22 pounds of acorns at the end of it.
I wish I had an acorn picture, but I don't.
No.
I have a picture here of Lance, though, catching fish.
Oh, wow. That's Laura.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow, look at that.
that's a few years ago.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's you, Laura.
Wow, that's a really cool picture. Yeah, fresh berries, yeah, juice, yeah, absolutely delicious. And the nutrients, the density of the nutrients that you get from something picked so fresh is just, you can't buy anything that would equal that.
When was that?
That was a long time ago, my love.
When?
That was in New Zealand.
Oh, okay. So you were living this way in New Zealand also?
We weren't living so much that way in New Zealand. We went out to New Zealand to hopefully buy an acreage, and when we got there we realised that the prices of that acreage was just totally out of reach for us. We did have a garden, so we were able to grow some vegetables, and we had some fruit trees there also. We had some olive trees and lemon and orange trees there. But we just found that it didn't satisfy what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so we moved.
And I just found a picture of Aspen and Lance with the honeycomb.
Honey. Yeah, Gary. We used to raise pigs in Manitoba. We used to raise them every year in Manitoba. And when we moved out here to Nova Scotia, we kind of went away from pigs. We do like pork, but it's not our favourite meat. We do prefer lamb, and we do prefer the wild meat that we get.
Okay.
So we have not much interest in raising pigs, and our next door neighbour actually raises pigs anyway, so we do swap meat with them.
Oh, okay.
And goats. Yeah, we've considered goats, but again, at this moment in time, we have the sheep, so goats don't really fit into the equation right now. We used to have a milking cow, but that didn't work out for us either. She unfortunately was drinking her own milk, which sounds really weird and bizarre. But we would go to milk her in the morning and she would be completely dry. There was like not one drop left. So, it didn't work out for us.
Oh, do you want to talk about the, you remember you had something like a fireside that you would do your maple syrup on?
Yeah, every year we do our maple syrup, and we've actually just finished the maple syrup season. And really, it's just a very basic structure. We use, I don't know what you call them. We call them breeze blocks in the UK. Maybe
we
they
call it a fireside or a chulha. It's similar to that. Yeah.
So we use the concrete cinder blocks, and we just create a structure where we can have a grate on the top where we sit our pans to boil down the maple sap, and the fire underneath. So it's a real basic structure, but it works really well for us. And we're not using any resources other than the wood from the forest, to make the maple syrup, which is what we're kind of about as well, to try and use less electric and all of that kind of stuff.
Nice. It's
but yeah, the maple syrup season this year was better than last. We did get more made this year.
And we did a video, right? I showed a video of you on the Mako, the kitchen series, and you were showing how you put the in the tree. Yeah.
Just watch those, Aspen. You're just going on my plants a little bit. Yeah, it's a really interesting process. It's a long process, and the ratio from sap. Maya, what are you doing with your haddy buddy? It's a 40-to-1 ratio, so it takes 40 litres of maple sap to make 1 litre of maple syrup.
Wow.
So you can imagine how much sap we need to make enough maple syrup to last us the whole of the year.
So this set that I'm showing right now, how much you needed to make that amount?
So what's that, 250s?
So those jars are 250 ml. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2. So it's about 500. It's about 1.5 litres. So you would take a couple of litres. How many litres would you?
To make a litre and a half?
Yeah.
Times it by 40.
Yeah.
60 litres.
60 litres. No, that's not right. Yeah, math isn't our strong point at this time of night.
That's fine, but I tasted the maple syrup and it was so good. It tasted fresh. It wasn't like the store-bought maple syrup. I have some right now.
Yeah.
And it seems like they add stuff to make it taste different.
They do, and they do the same with honey. Hi, Vishma.
Hey,
How
Vishma.
are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I didn't get to say hi earlier. We were trying to get everything on.
Yeah. With the maple syrup and with honey, actually, they add corn syrup to it. So sometimes you buy maple syrup and honey thinking that it's pure, and it can actually be. You were right. It was 60. Yeah, Lance was right. It was 60 litres.
Okay, nice.
He just went and did the calculator.
He's the bee guy, right? Beekeeper?
Yeah. He's the beekeeper.
Okay.
So and that's the other reason why producing your own, that'll do now. While producing your own, you know what you're eating.
Yeah, that's true. No antibiotics, no chemicals, nothing.
Yeah, there's, and the other reason why we moved from Manitoba is, we had a 12-acre property in Manitoba, but we were always having spray planes go over us, spraying glyphosate all over the fields, which was obviously drifting onto the garden. So that was a huge problem for us. Whereas here, we don't have that issue. Yeah.
Girls.
You're going to go and do your teeth? Okay. You're going to say goodbye because you're going to go and do your teeth. The girls are just going to say
Bye,
bye.
Mia. Enjoy the rest of your birthday.
Go on, don't go. Bye. Okay. Say bye. Say bye. Oh my girls. There you go. Yeah. So it's just a way of knowing what you're eating. It really is just such a good way to do. And if you can start off, somehow small, and just start from there. But just look at where you would like to be, if you're interested in doing it. One of the first things we did, if you can get books, research the internet, watch YouTube videos, watch my channel, do all of that stuff and just build your knowledge, build the knowledge that you need.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, and you're like my Google, because I always ask you everything about. I think right now people want to know how to store what they buy, the things that they buy, and how to make it last longer.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the dehydrating or the freezing. I mean, the problem is we're in a situation right now where they say, oh, you don't mass buy, but being honest, you have to mass buy to certain degrees to be able to stay at home, because they're telling you stay at home, but then they're telling you not to mass buy
because the groceries
produce.
are open.
Because the grocery stores are open. So if you're able to save your your food or dehydrate it or even just freeze it, then obviously you're extending what you have at home. You're not having to go out as regularly, and hence then you start saving money.
True. So I think we hit all the topics, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more stuff that we could get
Yeah.
into, and if people would like, us to do another talk like this, then let us know, because we can, now we know that we're up and running, and hopefully we've got over all the technical
Yeah.
issues that we have. If people would like us to do that, then we can do that. That would be, good.
Yeah. And even if we don't do it on this channel, maybe if you'll subscribe to Emma's channel, you'll be able to see a lot more about her life. You'll get a
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, head on over
Yeah.
there and have a look and see what you think. Thank you, Sadie. She had a really good day. She's tired. She had some chocolate peanut butter cheesecake for her birthday pudding, and she's heading off to bed shortly. And there's my duckies that you just saw there. They're Welsh Harlequin ducks. We're from Wales, or well, I was born in Wales, so it's nice to have something from home, I
Yes.
suppose.
Do you ever get those what do you call them again, Kevin? It just slipped me. The ducks. Muscovy ducks. Do you get that?
Yeah, we haven't got any right now, but they were actually all we raised when we were in Manitoba. They're actually a really good dual-purpose breed for eggs and for meat. Our neighbour again, they do have Muscovy ducks, so maybe we will do some swapping on those, when the hatching comes around. We do have some eggs in our incubator in the house at the moment. Our meat birds. They'll be hatching just after the Easter weekend, actually. So that will be something else for everybody to see.
You were talking about honey earlier, and I think we got cut
Yes.
off on the first one.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if you want to talk about it again, about the honey.
Yeah. So the honey, budgie. Yeah. So yeah, the honey. Yes, there you go. We have a hand extractor for the honey. So as you can see, you've got the frame there. Now the white substance that you see on the top, that's actually the wax, and you have to scrape that off. And underneath you have the honey, which is in teeny little pockets in the frame. Now that goes into a spinner, and we hand spin it, so it has a handle on the side, and it's actually quite cool to see, and it flings the honey out as it goes round at high speed, and all the honey settles in the bottom. Now our honey is completely unprocessed, so it goes from the frame into the spinner, and then it goes straight into our jars for use. Thank you, Gary. It's a pleasure to be on here and to talk about it, and I hope people find it useful.
And I hope that those in Trinidad and Tobago, I hope that they take some tips, and if they need help, they could always message you, Emma, on your channel, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And no matter where you are in the world, you can always take steps to move forwards and be better and be self-reliant. As I say, it's just a case of sitting down and really looking at where you want to go and how you're going to do that with the means that you have.
Like right now, I'm in Texas, so I won't be able to grow a garden where I live, but I'll still grow a few things on my little patio. I've been growing some chive or green onions. And I said, I want to start drying my herbs. I already froze some, and I have some in the fridge, but it's not going to last a long time in the fridge, as you know. So
yeah,
I'm just starting to, I always love your life, and I think that's my dream life. So I'm kind of starting a little bit to get into it.
And that's the thing. You know, you have to start somewhere, even if you start dehydrating a few little things every now and again. You know, and I know it doesn't sound like much, but you know, even if you decide to bake a loaf one day, you know, just do something that you wouldn't normally do. You know, bake a bread, make something that you wouldn't normally make, and even that in itself is a step forward. It doesn't have to be huge. Thank you, guys. Yeah,
Thanks, Avishma. Thanks,
we've
27.
enjoyed doing this.
So is there anything else you want to say, Emma? Any tips you want to leave?
Just really, like I said, just sit down and think about what you've heard. Think about the situation that we're in right now, and think about if you would like to go forward into being more self-reliant, and try to be more frugal. You know, once you get into that mindset, it flows. It's getting to that point in your life where you think, right, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write a few things down on a piece of paper. I'm going to, you know, get a book. I mean, I'll try and show you this just quickly if I can. It might be a bit late.
Go more to the right.
A little bit. Yeah.
To your right, yeah.
There you go. No, tell me when you see it.
See it.
So this is the first book I bought, and it's a real big thick book, and this is like my Bible of homesteading.
Nice.
And I think if you're gonna be starting out, you just have to research as much as you can. You know, that's we still do that now, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
We still use the internet. We still go on YouTube and research things that we don't know. And every day something happens here that we have to, you know, think about and deal with and react to. But yeah, just start off small. And like, you know, Raish said, you know, drop us a line, or, you know, if you want to ask something, then, you know, go ahead, feel free to do it.
If you have any questions right now for Emma, feel free to ask her.
Yeah, shoot some questions. Yeah, being frugal is the first step, and once you learn how to be frugal, things come from that. You know, it's like a road, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lots of different avenues come off for you. You know, that you can look at.
So one thing I found interesting is last year you were doing the acorns, and you cracked it open and you got the little worms from it?
Yeah, the acorn grubs.
The acorn grubs.
The acorn grubs. That's a video that we did, and we cooked them. Yeah, we cooked them.
I saw that, and it was interesting because they were popping like popcorn.
They do, and you know, they're actually really high in protein, so they're really good.
It was the first time seeing it on your video, and that's what I looked it up, and it said it's really healthy. So
and it's a natural product. You know, and lots of folk are very squeamish about things like that, but sometimes you have to get past those not beliefs. You just have to get past that and just try something a little bit out of the ordinary sometimes. And they were all right, weren't they?
They actually weren't that bad.
They were all right.
Okay.
I wasn't keen at first, but yeah, they were actually
I know
nice.
you all will be fine if anything happens, and you have to learn how to survive in the wild. I think you all will be good.
Yeah, and that is one thing, and we know that if anything does happen, that the children are going to grow up with the knowledge that they can do what they need to do.
It's good that you teach them from young.
Yes.
Gary, we don't really let the chickens go into the garden too much because I have things that I overwinter in there. And although chickens are fantastic to get rid of your weeds and the bugs that you don't want, they're also fantastic at destroying your beds that you've planted. So we tend to keep the poultry out of the garden. Just for that reason, we've had lots of things that they've scratched up and that have died because of that. We have a lot of perennial medicinal herbs that overwinter in the garden. So if the poultry go in there, then they can be destroyed, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, Simone says these tips are very helpful. Hi everyone,
Have a
thanks for
question.
joining in.
What to buy as opposed to procuring yourself? You can answer that one.
What do you mean? I'm not sure what
What?
you mean.
Oh, 27. They wanted to know what you meant by the question.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, Elizabeth. You have ducks. Nice. Hi, Asha. I'm doing well.
Your dad has ducks. What type of ducks does he have? I think with being practical and economical, again, it depends on what it is that you want to either grow or what you're going to buy. I mean, if you think of kind of, is it cheaper to go and buy something or buy a packet of seeds where you can grow a heck of a lot more from a packet of seeds than, say, buying a bag of carrots? Some things I suppose would be cheaper.
Yeah.
Maybe. Depend, like onions maybe, or certain products that tend to be cheaper most of the year round. But then still you're buying something that could be sprayed.
Yeah.
At least if you've grown it yourself, at least you know what went into that process.
Yes, exactly.
You get a healthy, food source that's not got any chemicals in it.
When you grow produce that comes straight from your garden and onto your table or into your pot, when you buy something, you don't know, the process that traveled through,
That's one of the reasons why we keep the animals, because a lot of the animals that we have with the chickens and the turkeys and the ducks, they're actually hatched on the property and they're raised on the property, and they don't leave the property. So
it's like their home as well, isn't it? Really?
From the beginning to the end of all our meat animals are on the property, and that's where they've always been. So they're not having to go through, we won't go into that too much, but they're not having the stress of being transported around. They're not having the stress of being somewhere that they don't know, which ultimately can affect the end product, if an animal is stressed. And Gary, chickens are a really good thing to start with. They're easy to care for. And even if you don't want to raise them for meat, they have the fact that you get the eggs. So chickens are a really good thing to do, and ducks as well. Ducks are pretty easy to keep, aren't they?
Yes,
as a beginner, if people want to start out raising livestock, chickens or ducks.
Well, in Trinidad and Tobago, people usually they rear chickens, ducks, goats. Some people rear cows.
Yeah, and and again, you know what you're putting on the table there, and you have to start somewhere with that. And chickens, I think the first things we had were chickens.
Yes, it was.
The first things we had were chickens, and then we moved into the ducks, and then pigs, and then the sheep. It just goes up the different levels to where you want to be. What are you saying?
She's saying she wants to go to bed.
You'll be going to bed soon, my girl.
You're having a late one.
Yeah, she's having fun.
When's her bedtime?
Yeah.
What time is her bedtime?
She's having a late night.
Okay. Oh, because it's Saturday.
It's her birthday.
Oh,
and,
yeah, it's her birthday.
That's fine.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yes.
Got rid of the chickens and pigeons. We actually used to have pigeons. We had some pigeons when we lived in Manitoba, and they were a real pain, weren't they? So we got rid of them in the end. We sold them.
Yes.
Well, we've hit an hour. So
So has anyone got any last questions before we head
Yeah.
out and tuck these girls in?
Because it's now 9 p.m. by Emma, so
Yes, it is. Very dark outside tonight.
she's in Nova Scotia.
But is it down in Canada?
Yeah,
How is it 9 o'clock there? Oh,
there are 2 hours.
they don't change time like the US. That's
No.
right.
Yeah. That's why.
Yeah, we're 2 hours ahead of you.
Yeah.
Gary, can you adopt me?
Right now, I'm looking for him to adopt me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come what race one
Yes,
day.
for sure. I do. Yeah.
We don't have cows, Doreen. We used to have a milk cow when we first moved here, and it didn't work out for us. So we haven't really gone back down that avenue with a dairy animal right now. It may be something that we will look at doing in the future, because dairy is a huge thing for us. We really would like that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
Nice.
So,
Well, I don't see any more questions.
yeah.
No.
I just want to say thanks very much for helping set this up, Rashmi and Kevin.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we got that in the end.
Yeah.
You're welcome. He can't
thank
hear
you
you
for
because I
everything.
have you on the headphones, but I'll let him know.
Ah,
Yes.
there you go.
Cool.
Yeah, we got there in the end, and it's nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I say, if we can always get together again and go through a few more things, and if people want to head over to our channel and just have a look through, see what you think, give us feedback. Feedback's a really big thing. Like I said earlier, it helps us to create the channel around what people want to see.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, you want to know what type of content people want to see, right?
Yeah. Well, that's right. And if you put things out there that people want to see and that they're interested in, then that helps them at the end of the day. And that's what we're all about, trying to, help people and guide them, because it isn't an easy thing to start out doing. And lots of things can go wrong, and when things go wrong, it kind of knocks you back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You need that encouragement to keep on going.
I'm just getting your link here to your channel so I can link it in the comments.
Okay, thanks, Pete.
So,
Thank you, 27th.
so I just linked your channel. So I hope.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
thank
yeah,
you.
Rach has just linked that. So I think we're probably going to wrap this
Yeah.
up now. I have a very tired little girl right here who wants to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm tired.
You what? You're not tired. She says she's not tired. She is tired.
She will be. Yeah.
After all the birthday activities.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, everyone stay safe out there.
Yeah.
and,
So thank you.
look after yourselves.
Thank you so much for joining. It's been really, really good. And
Yeah. It was nice. Thank you so much, Emma, for being here, and thanks for sharing all your tips and sharing a little piece of your life with us.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. It's no
I think
problem.
I would say
Really
99% of the people appreciated it. So thank you for being here.
good. I
Yeah,
hope so.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
So let me show you all a few pictures again of Emma's.
Just have a look
So
at
this
the
is Mia.
pictures.
Yeah. These are the girls in
Thanks
the
for
garden.
that. We will keep living the dream. Your dream.
Oh wait, I didn't. Okay, so we have the girls in the garden there.
And thanks to you too, Kevin.
He can't hear anything. Because if
Oh,
I put you
right.
on loud, it's gonna echo.
Yes.
Thanks, Pete. Speak to you soon.
Thanks for being here, Uncle Pete.
There's the girls.
Yeah.
Oh, processing some fish.
Yeah, we were doing the fish.
Someone asked what's
Remember
the
cat?
best way to freeze provisions.
I don't know what.
So like sweet potatoes and cassava.
The best way to freeze them, with the items that you've just mentioned, I would blanch them in boiling water for about 3 minutes. Once they've been boiled, drop them into very cold water to instantly chill
Okay.
them. And that way you are keeping all the nutrients in, because the heat leaches the nutrients out. So putting them into cold water will instantly, and there's the turkeys, will instantly lock those nutrients in. When you freeze anything, try to take as much moisture out as you can. So even if you put it on some towels to damp all that moisture away, and make sure that you have no air in your bags. Get as much of the air out as you can.
We use vacuum.
We use a
package
vacuum sealer
Yeah.
for a lot of our produce and meat.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Bye, Sujan. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining. And hopefully
Thank
we could do
you.
this again sometime. If
Yeah,
if you're
definitely.
interested, we'll do it again. But I just thought that I would let you all into Emma's life and get a little bit of insight. Maybe it'll encourage you, motivate you to start living more sustainably. Because as you know, what's going on right now, it's unpredictable, and we don't know, what our life is going to be like in the next few months. So we need
Yeah.
to start thinking a little bit forward,
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's hopefully we've put some bees in people's bonnets.
Yes. And thanks for encouraging me also, and I'll definitely take some
All
tips
right.
for you, and I'll be bugging you for the next few weeks to help me out as I
Keep bugging. Keep
start,
bugging.
yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks
Thanks
again.
everybody.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for being here,
Bye.
and thanks Emma and Lance and the girls and Elijah. Thank you.
And Elijah, yeah.
Bye.
He's been
Bye.
hiding.
The bug just went at once, Mum.